Yeah, right.
So there's different types of security types that the banks won't take on, that we will take on as a non-bank. So they'll be adverse to taking certain securities on because it's a risk. So the non-bank is more around, anything that doesn't fit that mould, that customer needs to go to the bank that sort of fits outside of that is what we call an ORD customer.
Would that be, from your experience, is there more people than the majority that fit your mould compared to the banks, or is it the other way around?
If you look at the self-employed market as such, there's a huge market of self-employed people who don't have their financials up to date, all fantastic borrowers. They've got clear credit history, great securities, been self-employed for a long time. You're talking about builders, developers, that kind of stuff, lumpy income sources. Very quality clients, but they just don't have their affairs in order. So plenty of those sort of customers out there. There's big volumes to write.
Geez, I've never really heard of it. So
that's good, yeah.
Manager role, and I've seen so many different people in different communities coming in, and you'd have to educate them, why they couldn't get a loan. So if I had to decline them, or the reasons that we could give them a loan. So.
When you're talking about that, Smithfield, you used to work for GE, right? GE Money, and you're working in the personal loan department there. And I think at that time it's probably 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Long time. It flies.
It's gone
but
quick,
back
man.
then,
It's
that was
gone
probably
quick.
our parents' time, right? That he was writing loans for, say, our parents, or, the first wave of Pacific migrants, which, a lot of them use GE. I used to see bank statements at 25%, 30%, but it's not that it was a bad thing. That's just what it is. That's how personal loans are priced. But when we talk about communities, I didn't really see any home loan, like too many Pacifica home loan customers at that time, or maybe there wasn't that many of us.
No, there wasn't.
But in terms of personal loans, there would have been a lot of us, right? So I think Craig, from your experience,
That's a good one, because back then, and I think it's generational wealth is probably what you're touching on there. And when I used to see people, what they really wanted, and say Polynesian people they wanted to buy a car. Their family. So sometimes you can't have too much industry talk or industry speak or acronyms and different things that you
put
say.
too much pressure on yourself.
You put too much pressure, and the customer doesn't understand that. It's really about how you walk them through a whole process to the end goal, and make it very clear in layman's terms. You don't want to make it too complicated for somebody. So I just suggest anybody in any industry, if you're fairly skilled in something, just think about the customers not in your industry. Peg it back.
Yeah.
Peg it back.